everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, which will premiere on HBO Max this Thursday. The series centers around 20 years ago, where a series of tragic events almost ripped Millwood apart. Now, in the present day, a brand new set of little liars find themselves tormented by an unknown assailant. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I'll tell you what I liked about this series, what I didn't like about this series, and is it worth your time or not watching Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, where the first 3 episodes will premiere on HBO Max this Thursday, with 2 episodes premiering each week thereafter. So let's go ahead and get into what I enjoyed about this series. But I know some of y'all like Sharonda, but do you know the background of Pretty Little Liars? Y'all, Pretty Little Liars, we had so many good memories, and a couple of bad memories towards the end of the series. But I love me some Pretty Little Liars. Never dated a man that I could not convince to binge Pretty Little Liars, because that's how much I believed in it, okay? So I was feeling very apprehensive. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was feeling apprehensive. Why do we need another reboot, remake, whatever they're calling it? And actually, I would say that this is probably closer to its own type of series than necessarily trying to tie this back to the original Pretty Little Liars series. But going into what did I actually like about this series? I'm not gonna lie to you. I did get off to a rocky start with it, and I'll talk a little bit into some of the issues that I had with it. But as I kept watching this series, I found myself getting hooked episode after episode after episode. I became even more interested in the mystery that is unfolding. And one of the first things that I do love about this series is that it leans very heavily into the horror genre, especially the slasher genre. A lot of horror fans would probably be really excited. Actually, if you are a horror fan, I would probably tell you to watch this series, just even based on the horror references that we get from other films. You definitely will get some Halloween vibes to it, because A is very aggressive in this series. I was like sitting to myself after watching a couple of episodes, and I was like, dang, was A this aggressive in the original? Like, I mean, A is aggressive, like Mike Myers, aggressive. I was just like, ooh, my spirit wasn't ready for all of this. But I'm actually here for that they fully lean into horror. There is blood, there is gore, there are deaths and kills. It feels as though while watching Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, that the stakes actually feel higher than its predecessor, because it almost seemed like, you know, kills or deaths, it was kind of reserved for like a finale type of episode. But while we watch this series, we quickly understand A didn't come here to mess around. A not playing with y'all. The stakes are going to be high. People are going to lose their lives. Lives will be ruined at the same time. And I'm just really feeling the pettiness of A, because I'm scared for these kids. I'm scared for them, literally scared for them. But I do think that what this series does right is it rights the wrongs of its predecessor. Especially when we, like, now I ain't gonna lie, I was rooting for Ezra and Arya, but you know, being an adult, being older, you're just like, ooh, that was so cringe. And I do love that they actually take some of the faults of the predecessor and they try to right some of these wrongs of showcasing how creepy it is for an older adult to hit on a high school student, and we get to see that in the series. But I think the biggest wrong that they have righted is having this feel realistic to what will happen if teenagers were actually getting text messages from this mysterious person named A, from the responses that we actually see the young woman give in the series, but also too, for us actually being able to see that the mothers have a part to play in this mystery. So there are actually 2 timelines in this. So as we go back to 1999, where the original sin took place, and where we go into present day with the young teenagers who are now adults, we actually get to see how this mystery, this lie that was created back in 1999, how that trauma has left those young teenagers who are now mothers has been passed down to their children. And so I really love this idea of the mothers having something to do with this. They have something to hide, as the girls are trying to figure out what role do their parents have to play, and why is this now at their doorsteps of why they're being tormented by A. I think that makes a lot more sense as to why, you know, because if I get a text message, somebody talking about, girl, you did this, I'm like, mama, somebody playing on my phone. Like, can you change my number? What's going on? I'm telling my parents, like, period. But also too, I do love that they have more diversity in this series. Even though I do think that, actually I'll say that before I get into my issues with it, but I do like that they have diversity in the series. It doesn't feel like they're checking the box, even though I do feel like some of the dialogue is just a bit too much. But like I said, I will talk about that. I'll talk about that in my cons. Now, also too, going back to the horror references, this does give me like a Scream meets Halloween type of vibe, type of feel. And I like that, you know, it gets creepy. And, you know, I found myself, because I had to start watching this at night just to be able to see. I did find myself kind of being like, ooh, hold on, wait a minute. Like, I know this is a TV show, but I'm starting to get a little spooked over here. Let me go ahead and take a pause real quick, because I'm just trying to woosah. I love that it sucks you into this world. Like, you almost feel like you're being tormented by A. And I mean, I think that that's really good. Each episode ends with a kind of a cliffhanger of a mystery. They kind of let you in piece by piece, more into the mystery of what's happening, more into the original of what the actual original sin was. And I like that they find ways to keep the audience wanting to watch more, because it's always tricky in situations like this when you have a series that, you know, premieres the first 3 episodes. There has to be something to make you keep coming back week after week after week to continue to watch. And I think they do, overall, for the most part, they do a good job of that. Now, even though I have so many great things to say about this series, I do have a couple of issues. First and foremost, pacing. You've heard me talk about this before. You only have a couple of episodes to get my attention. And to be honest with you, by the amount of streaming services that we have, the amount of programs that come out each week, you really only got 1 episode out of me, okay? And honestly, I'm going to tell you guys that this series does start off slow. It took about after episode 3 for me to really like kick in to it. I was given the first 5 episodes for review, just so you know. And if it wasn't for my other friends who are pressed, who kind of watched the series before me and told me to keep watching, keep giving it a chance, I don't know if I actually would have stuck around to figure out like what was happening before my eyes. And so I will say that the pacing feels a little bit off. It takes them a while to kind of really get into like the point, like what is the mystery that is unfolding. It takes a while for that to happen, but when it does, they do the right, they keep the right level of engagement, especially towards the end of each episode, to keep you wanting to hit play on the next one. So I do want to set you guys up with that expectation. You don't have the what do you call that? Privilege that I have of watching all 5 episodes back to back to back. So I just want to let you know it gets better. Keep watching, even if you feel like it's getting a little bit slow. Also too, so the visuals of it. It's a little hard for me to see what was happening, to the point that there's jump scares that happen in this series, especially surrounding A. But because there's like this dark gloss, and after I figure out this is more of a slasher type of horror show, it made sense for me for how they actually filmed it. It has just like this dark, like yellow tinge to it, like just dark and gloomy, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like at first. But then after I understood that this is horror, I was like, okay, fine, I'll let it slide. But it's hard sometimes to actually see what the hell A is doing, and I couldn't get into all the jump scares because I couldn't even see anything to be scared. Why everything gotta be dark, okay? Please, let's just fix this, because this is a universal issue I'm seeing in TV shows. Also too, back to the dialogue. So I was talking about the diversity, and one of the characters, which I think will probably be a favorite for most people watching, is the character that is she is a cinephile. She makes a lot of horror references. But sometimes she's like my girl, I'd be like, girl, you too woke. And I know that sounds so terrible coming from a Black woman telling y'all this about another Black woman saying these things. But it just, the dialogue, it feels a bit too much. I get it. These young women, they have agency over themselves. They understand right from wrong. They are like modern day feminists, but sometimes the dialogue, it just be a little bit too much. Like the references that they give, it just almost takes away from what's happening, because I'm just like, okay, y'all, I get it. I get it now. Like this person that said this a couple times, I get it. You don't have to do it anymore. Also too, there is a character by the name of Karen, who I actually, Mallory Betchel, who plays Karen, and I forgot the other one's name. I'm so sorry to that twin, but they're twins. The fact that her name is Karen and she acts like a Karen, it was distracting a little bit because I kept laughing. I was like, wait, this is supposed to be like a serious character, but I cannot get over the fact that her name is Karen and she's acting like the character Karen. That kind of plays into what I'm saying. Like, it's a little bit like too, like, just tinge it down just a little bit on the wokeness, just a teeny tiny bit. I hate saying that because people are like, oh my God, it's woke, I'm not gonna watch it. They ruined Pretty Little Liars being woke. It's not that deep, y'all. It's just like it's at like a 7 and we need to bring it back down to like a 5, okay? And also too, I want to learn more about the characters. Even after the first 5 episodes, they're so into the mystery that I think that a little bit more time could be given to actually develop our characters, to develop like the mothers, like past tense and present day, and even our main characters that this series revolves around. I wanted to learn a little bit more about them. We almost took the mystery portion of it a little bit too far, as if we delve into who these young women are as characters, that it will give too much of the mystery away. But you still have to have the audience connect to the characters to want to know what's going on with them, to want to know why they're being tormented, and to just care about them, to want to keep watching. So I hope that after the first 5 episodes that we get to delve a little bit deeper into these characters, also too into their parents as well, as this mystery continues to unfold. But overall for me, even though we got off to a rocky start, y'all, but I will have to say, Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, it has me hooked. Run me the rest of my episodes because I'm a fan. I'm a fan now. I'm a fan now. So what I would tell you to do, I would tell you to watch it, okay? The first 3 episodes premiere on HBO Max tomorrow on July 28th. If I think today is actually July 27th. But I will be doing weekly recaps of this series. I might be a little bit late with this week because, you know, I'm a little behind in my videos. But I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on this series. Have you watched the original Pretty Little Liars? Are you excited about Pretty Little Liars Original Sin? Are you not excited? Let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of it? But those are my thoughts on Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. As always, my name is Sharonda from Payroll Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again,